Okay, we will talk about the plant cell. Well, inside the plant cell, there's the chloroplast. The chloroplast is a relatively large organelle surrounded by two membranes. Chloroplasts absorb energy from the sunlight. Now, if we look inside the chloroplast, we will see the outer membrane. The outer membrane is the chloroplast, so it's the chloroplast outer protection. That's what it is. And then the inner membrane is sort of like a thin layer of another armor. It's a thinner layer, though. Now, the stromata is a liquid-filled space inside the chloroplast. Now, the dicotoids inside the chloroplast are sacs of connected membrane sacs called dicotoids. That's what they are. The dicotoid membranes contain chlorophyll, and the stacked structure greatly increases the membrane surface area that can absorb light, which helps us in photosynthesis. Now, light-dependent reactions of photosynthesis. This is the reactions occurring in photosynthesis are grouped in two stages, which is one, the light-dependent, which is the one we're talking about, and the light-independent reactions, which we'll get to later. The light-dependent reactions occur in the dicotoid membranes and rely on the chlorophyll and other pigments in the dicotoid membranes to harness the energy of light, which still, again, greatly helps us with photosynthesis. Now, so how this works, light-dependent reaction works in this way. Water breaks down oxygen, hydrogen ions, protons, and electrons. So this is what it does. Each reaction requires a specific enzyme. The oxygen is released into the atmosphere, and some of the energy from the reaction goes into the making ATP from ADP. And the protons and electrons combined with the carrier molecule to form another carrier molecule with hydrogen. Now, if we look over here, we're looking at light-independent reactions of photosynthesis, which is the Calvin cycle, which you'll see is dotted circled. Now, the ATP and carrier molecule with the hydrogen from the light-dependent reactions are essential for the light-independent reactions, or the Calvin cycle. The light-independent reactions are a series of enzyme-catalyzed reactions in the stromata, where carbon dioxide combines with the hydrogen ions and electrons produced from water during the light-dependent reactions. This results in the production of the high-energy sugar glucose. During the Calvin cycle, ATP is converted back into ADP and NADPH, the carrier molecule with hydrogen. It is converted back into NAD+, the carrier molecule. These will be used again in the light-dependent reactions. The light-independent reactions can occur in either the presence or absence of light. And now, saying of that, we will move on to see cellular respiration in the plant cell. And now, the plant cell, so this is where they go. The mitotron, or the little pink little circular things, the mitogen is a double membrane organelle where the reactions of cellular respiration take place. And so now we will look at inside the mitotron. So, the mitotron is the site of some of the reactions of cellular respiration, which we already talked about. The outer membrane of it, so it contains specialized proteins that make this membrane very permeable to ions and small molecules. The inner membrane, though, however, the inner membrane of the mitotron is folded within the outer membrane. The inner membrane is less permeable than the outer membrane, but it contains proteins to allow for the passage of some molecules. The inner membrane also contains enzyme needed for cellular respiration, so therefore it's really important. The citrase, the inner membrane is folded to form many citrus cristae, which are finger-like projections that provide a large surface area for the reactions of cellular respiration. The matrix inside the mitotron is a space called the matrix, where some of the reactions of cellular respiration take place. there we go. That's that. Now, if we look closer into the membrane, we will see the glycose in cellular respiration. So glycose means the breaking of sugar and is the first step of cellular respiration, which takes place in this cytoplasm. The energy from the ATP breaks a glucose molecule that was produced in the Calvin cycle, releasing hydrogen ions and creating two smaller molecules of the pyruvic acid. The carrier molecules combine with the released hydrogen ions and with the electrons to form another carrier molecule with hydrogen. Glycose also produces a new ATP molecules, resulting in a net gain of 2 ATP molecules for each molecule of glucose that is broken down. Okay. Next, we will see so aerobic respiration and cellular respiration. If oxygen is present, the pyruvic acid molecules produced during glycolysis are further broken down, releasing the large amounts of energy in aerobic respiration. So, the Krebs cycle takes place in the matrix. The icicle CoA breaks down and releases coenzyme A and pyruvic acid. The carbon atoms of the pyruvic acid end up in carbon dioxide, which is released as waste. So, we get 2 pyruvic acids, and it's going to say this. In eukaryotic cells, the pyruvic acid molecules first enter the mitochondrium, where they are stripped of a carbon atom and are also temporarily combined with the enzyme helper coenzyme A to form icicle CoA, which will be used in the Krebs cycle. So then we have 2 ATPs. So 2 of the molecules of ATPs are produced, and the carrier molecules NAD plus and FAD plus pick up the electrons and hydrogen ions to form carrier molecules containing hydrogen. NADH and FADH. So, these electrons are transformed by the carriers to the carriers of the inner membrane to take part in the electron transport chain. Now, so we have 32 ATPs here. During the electron transport chain stage, in a series of enzyme catalyzed reactions, electrons combine with hydrogen ions and oxygen to make water, which then leaves the mitochondrion. The movement of electrons releases energy in forms of ATP. The movement of electrons through the transport chain converts 32 more molecules of ADP into ATP. Aerobic respiration therefore produces a total of 36 ATP molecules for every molecule of glucose, which is a lot of ATPs. Like a lot. Now, we look a little bit farther. So the fermentation in cellular respiration, that kind of rhymes. So some organisms do not need oxygen for cellular respiration. Instead, it uses the process called anaerobic respiration or fermentation, which takes place in the cytoplasm. This process also occurs for short periods of time in muscle cells when insufficient oxygen is present to conduct aerobic respiration. Now, lactate. In lactate fermentation, the pyruvic acid that is produced by glycose is changed into a form of lactic acid. This is the type of fermentation that occurs in the muscle cells. Now, or it could also be ethical. In alcoholic fermentation, pyruvic acid reacts with water to form antidiol I think that says, and release carbon dioxide. In the presence of electrons and hydrogen at ions, the aldehyde is then converted into ethanol, which is a good thing. So now, that is all I think I got for you for now. So, that is literally just, it's literally just photosynthesis and cellular respiration in the plant cell. So, yeah, bye.